managed to fishtail an X7.
I wasn't expecting it to do that.
That'll be all the talk in it, I guess.
Hello and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the latest generation of SUV from BMW. This is the new X7. Now it's thanks to BMW Chandlers in Hailsham, I've got this car for the next couple of days and I want to find out, is it any good? Now the most obvious styling thing about this car is the size of that grille. It's absolutely massive, but I do think it needs a large grille because this car is also huge. Look at it, 2.5 tons of luxury here. We'll start at the front. Got a parking camera because that really is needed. It is quite a challenging car to park. This particular model, we've got some fantastic LED laser lights. They work up to like 600 meters, which is pretty incredible. The engine under here does need rather a lot of cooling. This has got a 3-litre inline 6 with 4 turbos. This particular model is the M50d, and as standard it comes with the 22-inch rims. And although that sounds really big, they don't actually look as big on the car because it's absolutely huge. Luckily this car's been developed by the M division and it's got M Sport brakes, which is a very good thing. This 2.5 ton monster does need a lot of stopping power. This car is as big from the back as it is from the front, which is a great thing for storage. If we open it up, it's split in 2 halves. And we've actually put the rear 2 seats down and it gives us a huge amount of storage, around 750 litres. We've got a ton of camera equipment there, which is really useful. We've got this little shelf, so if you want to have a sit down on it, you can do, which is, well, it's just great. You can survey the countryside.
This is a 7-seater car. I am a person, quite a big lump, I know, but you know, not child size, but the rear seats in this, rear seats, should accommodate a me. Now, if you've seen our videos before, I keep going on about this, but quite a big lump. So I'm 6 foot thereabouts, and I'm now going to try and get in here and see, firstly, if it's comfortable, and secondly, if I can get in there without losing knees. So let's have a go, shall we? Right, well I'm in, but I guess I now need to shut that. We would of course close the door. You may lose visual as the headrest comes through. Okay, I still have knees. Ah! My knees have gone. Hello. Hello. It really does feel like being a child in here. We've got some bits and pieces that we can play with, so we can put some more light onto me. Hello. So we've already seen the sunroof in the front, so it's massive actually. It runs the whole length of the car, but technically it's 3. So the front over the driver and the front passenger will open tilt and then slide back. The part over the main passenger compartment is fixed, but it is glass, and you can run the cover right the way back to let loads of light in. And then this part at the back here is separate. So it's got its own little button. It doesn't open, but it does allow you to let light in or out. And we'll open that again just to make sure that we've got some light. In the same cluster, you've got a couple of buttons to allow you to turn on your reading light, for example, if you're a map reader or maybe a cartoon reader in the back here. And then in the middle above the central seats is a control unit for the 5th climate zone. So we've got 5 in the car total. Of course, the 2 for the driver and the main passenger, and then 2 for the middle part of the car. And then this gets its very own. So we've got heated seats even back here. And this is actually quite nice. So I shall turn those on and then we'll see what happens. But you've also got auto settings. You can set your air conditioning to maximum, which will then super cool the area. You can turn it on, off. Actually, the seat's getting really quite warm already. We'll turn those off. And then you can adjust your airflows. This is actually, if you don't have knees and no longer wish to use your knees, this is actually a really comfortable place to be if you're not quite as tall as I am. If you were a normal person aged maybe up to, I don't know, 12, 13, you'd probably be very happy up here. No one would bother with you. So you can see that we've got our camera equipment in here now. There's a few tripods and a couple of bags and what have you, but there's probably less in there than you'd have with a really big family shop. You know, it's not an awful lot of space. And if you had an animal, a dog, clearly not a pony, you wouldn't fit that in there at all if you needed all of the seats. But otherwise, it's actually really very nice. You might want to add a trailer or a caravan to put your shopping in. But otherwise, it's okay. That way. You just go straight off-road in it.
Should be able to, shouldn't you?
You should be able to, yeah. Maybe not at tremendous speed. Hand it back in pieces. Oh my God.
It's an off-road beastie. So we'll...
Very high up, it's nice.
Oh, it is. You feel quite special, quite sort of opulent. I think that's the right terminology for this. And
there's so much bonnet there. Yeah, it's surprisingly easy to drive too. It's really nice. I didn't think it was going to be quite as nice as this. I kind of thought it was going to be a bit van-like for a bit. A luxurious van, maybe.
Yeah, a very expensive luxury van at that, but it's certainly the biggest BMW they've ever made. We've got the usual voice control malarkey going on that every other BMW I think we've had recently has had in as well, that doesn't seem to like me when I tell it to do something.
That's your weird voice. You can get some road noise, but not too much.
Yeah. But it's just, yeah, it just feels so special. Sort of up high, luxury everywhere. It's basically the very best you can get with BMW.
Well, I guess it's the 7 Series on stilts, right?
Yeah.
Really, I suppose in a way. But it's got a fabulous sunroof. It's huge.
I can't remember the exact name of this, but we've got LED lights all the way across there. BMW, I think they thought, well...
I bet they're not. I bet they are engineered defects in the glass in order to catch the light from LEDs at the front end or the side or wherever.
Now this is where this car is
challenging.
Interesting, yes, because it is so big and we've got some cyclists ahead of us and I need to get around them. And these roads aren't the widest anyway, but I need to remember to give them a huge berth. So this is where some power comes in.
Yeah.
This is the M50d, so there's quite a lot of power. The 50 bit you'd thought would stand for a 5 litre, but I think speaking to the BMW guys, it's something to do with power output that they used to make when they were non-turbocharged.
The equivalent non-turbocharged output.
Yeah, so this is the equivalent of 5 litre, but it's actually a 3 litre inline 6 with 4 turbos. Yeah. Nearly 400 brake.
I think it is 400.
Yeah.
And then 750 or so Newton meters or foot pounds?
Foot pounds, one of those two. Out of a 3 litre.
You'll have to flash it up on screen.
Yeah. It will do 60, like 5.4, considering this thing weighs...
That's what it says, we'll have to try it.
2.5 tons.
5.5?
Yeah, 5.5. Yeah,
There's some really fat friends in it.
So we can see what it's like, just sort of normal driving.
Whee!
Brakes again, and this has got the M Sport brakes on it. So
this time of year, all the greenery's up. Of course, it hides everything.
I think we're just in normal comfort. So we put it in. Adaptive's quite a nice one to actually put it in. So this is really clever. This car actually runs on air suspension, so it's really, really comfy. But there's a radar on the front, or the camera, and it's looking at any potholes, and it will change the setup of the car.
I read something interesting about that camera on the front, or at least one of the cameras, that if it gets cold, it will automatically be heated.
really.
Yes.
That's a level of engineering beyond you'd even think of.
That's brilliant.
I think this one, with all the trimmings it's got with it, is just under 100,000. You could probably push it over that. I think there were a few packs that weren't included in this, but it's certainly not a cheap car, but it doesn't feel it. I don't think anything we found in here was...
No. Well...
Maybe the glove box.
Actually, that sounded like a safe door, but yeah, we'll have to have a play with that again just to prove something isn't.
There must be something wrong with this car, I'm not sure.
This has got that same crystal pack as the
clarity pack, yeah.
Yeah, as the Z4, and it looks better in here. No, not the Z4, was it? It was the 8.
8 series, yeah. Yeah, so we've got like
much nicer in here.
Crystal-y thing on top of the gear selector, and then we've got glass on the iDrive controller.
Apparently that's crystal too. Apparently.
Mm.
That thing on the gear stick, I've heard, is made from a single piece of crystal.
That's impressive.
Apparently. It does sound great.
I know there's going to be some audio pumped into the cabin, but it's real audio. It's not like they make it in the studio. It is actually what the engine sounds like. That's the thing I was quite surprised about when finding out about that originally. It's not, like I said, it's not artificial audio. It's just a microphone.
Enhanced.
Yeah, it's a microphone actually in the engine bay recording, and then probably goes through some clever filters and stuff, and then goes.
Does sound nice though.
Yeah. These seats are really nice. I was having a play around, and we've got massage control on both your seat and my seat.
Whole body activation. Come on, how do I turn this on?
You go to massage level. So up here. So then go in there.
Oh, 3. Nothing's
Is
happening.
that yours? Is that
Yeah,
mine?
no, it's me. I'm not fit. Ah, right, there we go. My wallet is moving. I think it's now joined my pelvis. That's quite some pressure.
I don't quite understand the...
Oh yeah, there we go. There's the back.
The name of them though, the pelvic activation. That sounds like some sort of new yoga position, doesn't it?
It is a bit warm in here though, so I might be starting to perspire a little.
Maybe turn the
I think we're going to have to turn that up.
Or the climate control up again.
The mics shouldn't pick it up.
No, hopefully not.
I am melting.
Some weird...
I think it's because there's so much glass. Despite it being quite a moody day, it's getting quite warm in here. Oh, my feet are getting lovely and cold. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's doing something now.
And it's got some weird scented action going on. You get the little cartridges, aren't they, that you can put in the glove box?
They are.
I think you've probably got one.
Pinch one. So it's a thing called ambient air, and this one in particular is called Golden Sweet Number 2 Rich.
I've no idea what that smells of.
No,
but you can put it in and it will pump that out. So if you want the smell of sweets or chocolate or...
Yeah, I guess it's a nice thing, I don't know. Better than the countryside, as has been said before, I'm sure.
Yes. This side.
Managed to fishtail an X7.
I wasn't expecting it to do that.
That'll be all the talk in it, I guess. Yeah. This sounds great for a diesel lumpy thing. No, I've said it before, I'll probably say it again. It sounds amazing.
And that's comfortable as well. Over those, we know we've been along this road quite a lot.
Yes.
And you normally get shaken to bits.
Yes, there was another car recently with M Sport suspension. We won't mention details, but it was much less comfortable than this.
Yeah, it wasn't quite the same.
And it is an appalling road, so this is doing well. Everything feels like a tight gap.
Yeah, that.
And that is a very, very long way over there to that corner.
It's slowly getting used to it. Nowhere near where I would be, but it really does fill up the entire road.
It's quite commanding.
Yeah.
That grille is one piece.
Is it?
Yeah. And it's huge.
It is a big talking point. I think it's a bit of a Marmite eye. I actually quite like it, to be honest. Now I've seen it.
It's a really big car, so clearly you put a really big grille on it.
Yeah, could you imagine having the normal size grille? It would almost look comical.
Yeah.
But it just feels a bit special. It stands out from everything else, so why wouldn't you?
No, exactly. It's the same new design language in the 7 Series. That again is massive, but of course the car isn't quite so tall, so it looks even bigger, I think.
So in here, because it's got air suspension, you can actually change the ride height, can't you, of it? When you're... Ooh.
So I don't know if the camera behind us can see that. It came up.
So if you've got, I suppose, difficulty getting into cars, you can lower it down.
This is the perfect car for nosy people, so I'm now able to look over walls and fences into people's houses.
Didn't know.
It's lovely. It's really comfortable. It's sort of 7 comfortable. So when I had the 7, I'd waft around in Comfort Plus because it's just lovely. When it had Sport and Sport Plus, but why would you bother? I think it's the same with this sort of car. It has heated and cooled cup holders.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. It also has what I assume is a wireless charging thing.
USB in there by any chance?
There's a USB-A. So in the 3 Series that we had recently, there were USB-Cs, which I'm not sure if that would be annoying to me or not, because most people still have the USB-A, right?
But
so
yeah, for the iPhones,
some sort of dongle or a different cable or whatever. Yeah, the ambient light in here is quite nice.
Yeah, this I think at night, when I can have a poke around once the sun has set, I think will look incredible. It just feels, it's lovely, this leather.
It is very nice actually, and yeah, the seats appear to be ventilated, at least they are perforated.
Nice leather on the dash, this lovely stitching. Just attention to details. There's no, we need to go on a hunt for scratchy plastics if there are any, but even up here, got nice Alcantara.
Maybe I found some, but it's still good quality. So down by the cup holders, there's a bit of plastic in there, but everything else appears to be. Yeah, that may not be real aluminium, but maybe plastic made to look like it. But it's a very good quality.
Even up here, just notice there's leather on by the windows.
Yeah. I think we'll find it very difficult to find something to moan about, actually. I really like this. It's fantastic. It's a bit too big for my needs, but I wouldn't be unhappy with it at all.
It's nice being over this side. It gives you a different perspective on being chauffeured around.
Yeah.
I can picture this being a chauffeury type car as well, because they do captain's chairs in here. This has got a bench, so they do individual captain's chairs.
Yes, the 6 seat.
£600, yeah.
The 6 seat option. That looks really good, actually.
I'm going to have to turn my temperature up a little bit. And this is something I think is really cool. We get this own little readout for the climate control in the front there.
This is lovely, actually.
Enjoying it.
This really is lovely. I absolutely understand it. I'd have thought that the 5 would have been enough, but I can see why people would get this. That extra bit of room, a bit more presence. It's certainly not shying away from taking its stance on the road, is it?
No, no. It's what it is. It's the piece de resistance of luxury and quality and everything else that BMW can offer.
Yeah, it's stamping its authority, I think, on the road.
It's not
and beautifully quiet. So for a 3-litre diesel, BMW wins again. Their engines are fantastic.
And I think you do get reasonable fuel economy out of this thing as well. It's like 40 odd to the gallon.
Yeah, I mean, that's better than reasonable, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
amazing, really. But this is beautifully luxurious, just rolling around. And then, of course, it is kind of the motoring gentleman's thug.
Yeah.
So you do this, and then when you want to, you can stamp on it, and it'll run away. It does feel a bit top heavy.
Yeah.
Like pendulous, if that's a word.
Well, it is now.
It is now. It's my word. I claim it for myself. Copyright. You can't use it. But I guess, to get that level of comfort, it's not going to be rigid. Why don't you get in the back and see what it's like?
That's a good idea. Now I'm in the back of the car. We've got enough room for 3 people. The central portion is slightly raised, so it might not be as good for longer journeys. But I'm sitting in one of the best seats in this car. I've got to say, I've left the passenger seat exactly where I was earlier, and I had tons of room in the front, and I've still got a lot of room in the back. But there is a party trick of this car. We can slide this bench seat backwards. So I'm going to hold on to the control and we're going to slide backwards. We're also now going to tilt the seat, and I feel like a bit of a king at the moment. I really am relaxed. I can't even reach the front seat. So it's just lovely. We've got dual climate control. We've got a small shelf so you can put your wallet or whatever. And we've got 2 USB-C charging ports and a cigarette lighter. Over on the back of the seat, we've got part of the ambient lighting. So at the moment, we've got a purple glow that's on the back, and that just adds a bit of class to it. A small pocket you could put bits and bobs in. It's a bit spring-loaded like a mousetrap, but that's German quality, I think. If you listen, God. Yep, very well engineered. We've got 2 large door bins on my side. You could easily fit a large 2-3 litre bottle of water in there. Got lovely door cards, and like the rest of the car, we've got this merino leather. I can rest my arm in it. I think I might just go to sleep, just let Will drive around for a while. I've got a central armrest here, so you can put that down. Nice and comfortable. We've got 2 cup holders as well. Open up, and a small cubby hole that, being as fancy it is, it's covered in felt. So I've put my phone in there, and I will forget where I've put it and probably return the car with it in there. But overall, the experience in the back of this car, you feel very special. I liked it out the front, but in the back, long journeys, I think you would be very, very happy.
Bring us on to another point on the sunroof, as we touched on earlier, is that if this were open and it started to rain, it would close itself to the tilted open setting.
That's very clever.
Yeah,
So
it's either after 6 hours or rain, or whichever comes first, which is really good.
as opposed to 6 hours in the rain. And then
Yeah, exactly. A very soggy bottom when you get in. Well, you're almost disconnected from the road, right? It's so luxurious, so smooth, so quiet. In my car, when you're doing some pace because you can hear it. It's loud, it's noisy, it's dramatic. This thing, like many other luxurious cars, it just takes it all in its stride. A little cough over your shoulders, so you're going a little too fast. It's upsetting me now. I like it so much.
I'm sure they can offer you a deal on this.
I'm sure they will. Yes, Charlie, please don't sell me this car.
Yeah. Although speaking to Charlie, is the manager at Chandlers, he was saying that these are limited anyway. The X7s, there's not going to be
Let's let him through.
Huge amount of them.
Well, we're going to let the Range Rover through just because we're gentlemen.
Exactly. I did notice, I think when it was really tight, I don't know when the exact situation it comes on, but we certainly had it in the 3 and the i8, that the cameras came on when it was really tight all around you. It came up with like an external 360-degree view of your car, but I'm not sure how you actually, when that comes on. But
I'd want a button actually on that. I just want a button I can hit that shows you your top down, because that little bit there where we're trying to manoeuvre around some cars, that would have been really useful to see just how close you are to that corner.